from Rixie. This is Debuff, and I'm your host, Steve Skeels. Today, I'll be talking about Nintendo Switch hack resellers getting sued, Terraria's final update, and the new Game Plus Expo. So as with every game console, and especially handhelds it feels like, the Switch hacking scene has gotten pretty prominent over its lifespan. Personally, I love this stuff, and I think it's really cool that there are people out there who just feel the need to see how they can open up a device and get it to run unofficial software. Homebrewed games and applications, backing up games and saves, and ridiculous things like running Linux on devices that have no business doing so. It's crazy what people can do once they open up a console, but unfortunately when there's a strong hacking scene, there's always a subset of piracy, which is really what companies are after. Yeah, game companies don't want hackers ruining people's experiences online, but companies can lose money over pirated games, so this is where they focus most of their energy. Via Polygon, on May 15th, Nintendo filed lawsuits against hack resellers that offer, quote, an unauthorized operating system and accompanying piracy tools that install it, end quote. These resellers package and sell the hacks developed by Team Executor, who were previously well known for their efforts on the Xbox 360. Apparently, there have already been hundreds of these hacking packages already sold, and Nintendo is seeking $2,500 for each trafficking violation. Personally, I've always been of the mindset that once you purchase something, it should be yours to do with as you see fit, though I get why they don't want people pirating. The lawsuit claims that the hacks Team Executor developed are unlawful themselves, which I don't agree with. I'd say it's likely due to the physical products that are used to hack the Switch, as that is the type of thing I've seen Nintendo go after in the past with things like the DS and 3DS flash carts, but once it's some piece of free software alone, it's a lot harder for them to go after that. In the end, it really should be the people that provide pirated games that get hit. This feels like a bit of a workaround to try to stop people from hacking their Switches at all. Nintendo's definitely gone after people who post ROMs and things like that, more so than almost any other game company, but unfortunately, that isn't what they're doing right now. So, moral of the story, stay off Nintendo's bad side or they'll come after you. And just buy games if you can. It'd be great to live in a world where hacking and modding doesn't immediately bring piracy to mind. Terraria's final update, titled Journey's End, just launched on June 16th. If you somehow aren't familiar with Terraria, it is a game developed by Relogic and first released over 9 years ago on PC. Currently, it sits at an 83% on Metacritic with a user score of 8.7 and is now available on pretty much all platforms. I know many people have looked at this game and thought of it as a 2D Minecraft, but it is much more than that. It has goals that drive the player, like defeating bosses and finding certain items, and it just focuses more heavily on exploration and combat as opposed to the mining and survival aspects of Minecraft. Over the years, it has retained a solid player base and has had multiple updates, but those updates are finally coming to an end. Journey's End adds quite a bit of content though, so it looks like this will be a great send-off for the game. Its release has brought on the game's highest record for concurrent players at almost 500,000, and people seem to be loving it. The complete post for the update has 13 sections that go over the various changes, so I'm not going to go through all that here, but I do want to summarize some of the big changes that will directly affect the players, starting with the new modes. This includes Journey, Master, and Golf. Journey mode is basically the cheat mode that gives the player control over things like weather and difficulty, but also provides an increased building range and even the ability to duplicate items. Master mode appears to be a higher difficulty level with new items included for that specific difficulty alone, and the Golf mode is, you guessed it, a golf game within Terraria. You can make your own levels and share with friends, which I think is a surprisingly awesome addition. Just adds a little bit of something else to do. On the world design and immersion front, there are new weather effects, new biome backgrounds, improvements to the world generation, and the ability to interact with the world in new but simple ways like sitting down. There have also been a bunch of quality of life improvements, including a guide to tell you what you should be doing to progress, and just balance updates across the board. There is a lot more included, so if you're a fan of Terraria, I would go check out the full changelog on their forums. And if you don't have the game, it's only $10, so unless you want to wait for one of its $3 sales, it's a good time to buy. And last up today is the New Game Plus Expo. In the wake of E3's cancellation, there have been many new events announced that we've talked about previously, and this is another one that I'm excited for. The New Game Plus Expo is a collaboration of 14 publishers and developers that are basically all popular Japanese companies, with some owning divisions based in America. This will include big names like Sega, Atlus, and Koei Tecmo, as well as some smaller companies that publish games I'd consider to be somewhat more niche, such as NIS America and Idea Factory. I find this announcement to be pretty exciting, as there are quite a few studios here that I like, and it will be a unique showcase of games. As opposed to something like E3 where you have developers from all over showing off what they've made, this will be mainly focused on a slice of what the Japanese developers have been working on. And I think it should be great for that. The website for the event states that there will be dozens of titles spanning every genre, including action, puzzle, and storytelling, so I think there will be a lot of great variety here. Many sources like IGN and GameSpot are reporting 40 games to be included. And the majority of these companies do tend to be involved with multiple titles at once, so I can imagine that number seems pretty fitting, albeit I'd expect some to be smaller titles. Adam Johnson, the New Game Plus Expo producer, said it is, quote, a grassroots coalition of publishers and developers. Organizing together for the first time, we hope fans have fun as we take a look at the combined upcoming lineup of games for 2020 and beyond, end quote. The statement is pretty enticing to me, as it sounds like it should be built from the ground up for companies themselves and ideally will be just all about the games. The expo will be held on June 23rd and will be exclusively on Twitch. It begins at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, followed by first looks, Q&A sessions, and more from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's a wide time frame, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect yet, but I'm looking forward to it and hope to see some exciting announcements. Debuff is hosted by me, Steve Skeels, edited and mixed by Mason Carlton. Follow us on Instagram at DebuffPod. That's DebuffPod. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next one.